Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you wanna give them love, then give them some more. Come on.
Give them more if they want some. Give them more if you want to. Give them more if they want some. Give them more if you want to. Give them more if they want some. Give them more if you want to.
Come on.
Give them more if they want some. Give them more if you
Give them more.
It's your favorite host doing the most. You know a little most. It's Mo Manifest tuning in. I know y'all heard my new intro. The intro is actually done by somebody I went to school with. The influence for that intro was I Want to Be Down by Brandy. You know, old school 90s R&B, just to vibe, give them Mo. Shout out to Mikea for making that happen for me. Also, let's pay some bills. You know, the sponsor, Trap Art LLC, Trap Art Clothing Co. Please reach out to them, Trap Art Clothing Co. on Instagram if you want to get into it. But like I said, I hope y'all enjoyed the intro. If you did, please let me know below in the comments. But last week we got it kicked back off. We're about in our we're in the fourth season, which will indicate that we're in the fourth year. And no regret so far. Some people ask me, how do you keep up with it? It's a lot. It's a lot from producing the episodes to writing the episodes. Well, I don't write anything. I just come up with a topic, and then I go from the top of the head that way it's organic, and I don't force myself to be in a box. But, for those of you who don't know, I tore my ACL and MCL in January. I think it was Martin Luther King Day. I can't remember. I just remember tearing my ACL, had surgery like April 5th. And I started writing in my notes this series called Taking a Seat, or, Visions from the Throne. And basically, you hear people say all the cliche stuff about taking a seat and having a seat. Today we're going to talk about what it's like to take a seat and really sit down. Before I did that, I was on the go a lot. And not that I wasn't home, but I was just fixated on being on the go. Wife is pregnant, a lot going on and nothing bad happening, but sometimes we just consciously don't realize how much movement we actually got going on. And like I said, it's cliche, people say God to sit you down. And it's not that I was doing anything wrong. I thought I was taking care of business and doing stuff like that. And I was, but in the time that I had to sit down, because let me tell you something, when you have ACL surgery, you go from like being able to fully bend your knee till it's stuck like this, and you got to slowly bend it, work on it and get it bent. So, it took time. And from that seat, I realized like with less movement, I was able to accomplish more things. Without being able to move more, I was able to make more moves, because it put me in a space to have to trust more in my business, strategize more, allow people to do their things. As long as you give somebody a chance, even if they make a mistake, give them a chance, give them a learning experience, and don't rob that from them. You really can't be mad. But, taking a seat goes kind of hand in hand with still seasons. And, excuse me, a lot of people enter a still season or a space and they just feel like they don't know what to do. And that's actually a good space to be in, because that's a moment of reflection. So right there, we're talking about taking a seat, being in a still space, and a moment of reflection. Because when you actually reflect back, see what's going on, take your time, process everything, normally what you learn about yourself on the other side of that is normally going to shape that next season, So when you live life for things and not substance, it becomes a problem. You know what I'm saying? That's why when a person's on drugs, they call it substance abuse because they get addicted to the substance. And you may say, well, it's drugs, but at least it's something, right? And I'm not advocating for drugs, but what I'm saying is a person that's fixated on drugs would go out and do anything and everything it takes to be able to get those drugs. So you almost want to be not abusing a substance, but almost like substance abuse when it comes to your goals. What are you willing to do? What sacrifices are you willing to make? What seats are you willing to take to sit down to strategize? Here's the thing about strategy. You're really just making a rough draft because you don't know what's going to happen. Never in a million years did I think, coming up that I was going to be running a delivery service, a very high operating and being business partners with Amazon. That was never in the cards. And it became a reality rather fast. I'm 29 now, so it became a reality fast. And from when I got my first job at 19 to now, in 10 years, I can show you so many transitions within there. But I can also show you a bunch of times where I probably felt like I was hitting a wall. And realistically speaking, that was my seat at the time. Sometimes when you climax in a situation, um, however you do it, you got to wait till that season change before you can make adjustments because sometimes that's your time to rest. That's your time to analyze, once again, reflect, once again, be still. And all of that stuff go hand in hand. And you don't want to always be that person moving and on the go. And because you get lost in that, because when it actually slows down, it causes people to have anxiety and stuff. So from my seat, one of the things I learned was, I mean, I could be gone all the time and I can come up with all the reasons to be gone, but I felt like home needed me. And being at home with my wife there to be able to assist her was the biggest thing because she was always there. When I had surgery, I tried my best to get back to 100% as soon as possible. You may say, why? Because she's about 6, 7 months pregnant at the time and trying to take care of me. And the doctor told me, hey, you should be able to walk after like 7, 14 days. I probably started trying to start walking after like the first day, you know, and that was just me. I just didn't know how to sit down in these past, and had surgery in April, and I will not be fully healed until next April. What's this, November? So December, January, February, March, April. So I'm still about 5 months out before I'm 100%. And I don't know if I'm going to step back on the basketball court. But in the meantime, in that time, I actually lost weight. I didn't gain weight after surgery. I lost weight, not because I was depressed or anything, but because I had time to prepare. And everybody said, well, you did the opposite of what a person may normally do. Well, that's because I thought about what an average person would do when they go through surgery or anything. They're going to sit down, they're going to eat. Well, then I started doing things like intermittent fasting. I wanted to make sure while I was in my seat that I could stay comfortable as possible. Because, see, the seat, metaphorically, is made for where you're at now. And it may not be space for the growth that's going to take place, which is why you can't stay in the seat. So, figuratively, literally and figuratively, same thing. You don't want to allow yourself to let small hurdles stop you because my surgery was a blessing. And I'm glad I was able to take this seat and have my points of reflection and realize, like, hey, I could be doing this instead. Or, hey, why did this happen? Or, hey, do you focus on this? Hey, are you paying attention to this? Because I did a lot of things in a small amount of time, and there's still so many changes in life happening. We got a 5 month old. We already had our 1 year anniversary. About the our first Thanksgiving. It's so many moving pieces, and it's like it can be overwhelming, but it's only overwhelming if you never take the time to have a seat and process what's going on. And like I said, it's always good to move. You can move and move and move and move. You can move for the next 10 years, and I mean, be on the grind. But what you failed to take care of in 2023 will still exist in 2033. Now, when you choose to overcome these boundaries and the hurdles, it's up to you. But they don't go nowhere until we address them, you know? And that's what I learned. And that's why I focus mostly on when I enter those seasons where it's like, man, the motion is gone, the moves is made. Well, a manifester knows that we manifest that and then we put in that work. But just because you don't see the roots don't mean the plant ain't growing. Most people don't know the plant is growing until it breaks the soil. A manifester, a person that believes, whether you believe in God, the universe, whatever you choose to believe in, the only thing you're forced to believe in here, and we ain't gonna force you, but the only thing you should be believing in here is inspiration, right? And I'm not gonna force anybody to do anything, and I know how it can go with that, and that's why we say that. But when you got faith of a mustard seed, when you got true belief, when you got power within yourself, when you understand that God is on your side and that you're operating at a different level, we call it operational excellence. Got an episode about that. All this stuff go hand in hand. That you don't have to see it break the dirt to know, but you also understand it takes time. It ain't gonna grow in a week, in 2 weeks. You might have to do 3 years, 4 years, 5 years worth of work. You may not see it growing. That don't mean it's not growing, you know? So as always, like while you in this seat, because there's somebody in the seat right now questioning themselves. Don't question yourself and enjoy the process. Enjoy the break. Get you some rest. Think about what you could do next. Position yourself for that next, I don't know, whatever you want to do. Because if you don't, you're going to feel crunched and it ain't going to be fun. Like I said, I think I'm in a still season right now, and I see stuff going on, and I'm getting calls about potential opportunities and stuff like that. And I just say, you know what? What do we want? And when I think about it right now, I know in maybe a few weeks or so, when I get out of peak season, I can think about that. But right now, what's on my plate professionally wise is taking care of peak season, because I can't worry about the next endeavor till I take care of what's in front of me. So, you guys, whether you're in the still season, taking your seat, or whatever, always put your faith system first. Believe in yourself. Don't feel bad. It's okay not to be where you at, or it's okay to get to where you thought you wanted to be at to be happy, because happiness is subjective. Just live your life. And like I said, put your faith system first, whatever you choose to believe in, and make sure that you enjoy it for what it is. Because when you get there, it may not be what you think it is, but just remember, that's what you prayed for, that's what you meditated for, that's what you manifested. You have to take it for what it is, because depending on when you get it, you may not even have the mindset to truly appreciate it, and that's the lesson in it. And as you know on the GivemoPodcast, there ain't nothing but blessings, because if I learn something from it, how can I not be blessed? So we're going to end this with, if you are taking your seat right now, make sure you understand by the time it's time for you to stand up and get into your next season, because the worst thing is to take a seat and just sit in a space of laziness and never come up out of it. It's okay to have lazy moments, but it's not okay to take that into your next season and not learn nothing from it. So once again, make sure when you're taking your seat that you understand the reflection, analyzing, planning what may be in front of you. But the only thing that really exists is now. The past is gone. The future is the future. But the only thing that exists is now. And we live life for the now. So we can talk about what we can do in front of us. Asking somebody what they want to do in the next 5 years sounds so good when you're young, or at any point when you're trying to date and do all that, But how many people don't get there and it still works? You know what I'm saying? See, people just want to see, do you got forward vision? But ask that person, what's their vision of now? Because the only thing, like I said, really exists is now. So make sure you enjoy what you have now, because if you keep asking for what's next and you never enjoy what's on your plate now, what's the purpose of it? You don't know, because you might want a $20 million house or something. There's nothing wrong with dreaming, but you might get, I don't know, $300,000, $400,000 house and realize I don't need all of that. But you got to live in the now. Can't live in the past. That's just your, that's just your, that's your history book. This is when I did this. Past teach you a lot. The future teach you that what I do now will better project me then. So as always, it's your favorite host doing the most. If y'all enjoyed the intro, I don't know if we're going to have an outro done by now. We might have an outro, but if you made it this far, I thank you for sticking it out with me and giving me the chance. 4 years in, season 4. We got a lot of content coming. I'm recording this at probably like 3:05 a.m. Had a lot of work to do. Had to get the baby to sleep. She been knocked out for about 2 hours. That means she about to wake up hungry and crying. So I really put a lot of work and effort into what I do. And I thank you guys for tuning in and listening to me. Once again, as always, it's your favorite host doing the most. It's Mo Manifest, and I'm out.
Give 'em more if they want some. Give 'em more if you want to. Give 'em more if they want some.